I guess I'll start with saying what a compliment to 49ers organization, their coaching staff, their guys. I mean, it's hard to simulate that kind of work. You can't simulate it on your own. And so to be able to work together, and get as much fundamental technique work, one-on-ones, competitive situational work, and do it the way we did it. Spirited. These are always spirited, but clean. Everybody, I think, did the right things, and I think both teams had an opportunity to improve. So I give Kyle and John and their group a ton of credit for this, and we would do it again with them. So, questions?
Josh, we saw Devontae Adams have to leave practice.
Yeah.
Also didn't see Hunter out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that weren't out there, so I don't know, I was in the double digits, but no, I don't. I haven't seen anything. I don't think it was crazy serious. It was just kind of a bang bang play, totally clean on both sides.
We saw 6 interceptions from your defense today, and
I didn't get to see them all. I was over there on the other field, but I heard some of them.
Yeah, it was 6 today, I think, and around that many
Yep.
yesterday. It's kind of starting to become a theme for you guys in training camp. And I know it is just training camp.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that in perspective, but it's something that we haven't really seen a lot of around here, and certainly not last year. You started to get encouraged by what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're, in order to get the ball, you have to be connected. You have to know what your job is, and you have to be willing to make a play when it's coming into your area. And if you're not connected, then there's a lot of big holes in the defense, and you don't really have chances. And if you are, then you can make the windows tighter, and then you tend to get more hands on the ball. And who knows what happens when you get tips and all that stuff. And I don't know how many of them were tipped or not. I don't really know, but I like the idea of any defense that we put out there, being aggressive and trying to get the football. We talked about that all off season. Seeing if we can improve ourselves in that area. I think the players have worked really hard at some of the techniques that you would use, in trying to create turnovers, and the coaches have identified them. So it's exciting for our guys when they make a play, and hopefully we can continue to improve in that, and then ultimately do them in the regular season.
Clearly, it's not the regular season, not making it that, but when you look at how the first 2 weeks of camp went, and then coming in both days, you guys look like the better team. My point to you is, are you able to enjoy it, or as a coach, I'm always gonna just look for the negative?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about there's no scoreboards out there, you know what I mean? And so I think there was a lot of repetitions by both sides where both teams did some things very well, and the other team's going to learn from them. That's kind of how I look at these practices. I don't really try to worry about the who's got the advantage in terms of winning the practice or the period. I just really focus on each individual play or period and what the focus is. I thought our team was really into whatever that segment was: red zone defense, 2-minute, move the field. We had some different things going on today that I thought that you could see their awareness, and that's really what this practice is about. Is being able to see if you have 11 guys out there that know what's going on, are aware of the situation, how much time's remaining, what down is it, and so you can't. It's hard to, like I said, it's hard to simulate that when you're on your own. And so to be able to do that, I felt like we were improving in that area. We saw a lot of things last night in the film that we needed to do better as a football team, and I think our guys had great intentionality today in terms of let me try to fix something that I can control. So. We'll see what the tape shows, but there's always going to be things to fix.
Have you made a final determination on Garoppolo for Sunday? How much will he play if he plays?
We have not made any final determination really on anybody. We're going to talk about that tonight, and and just kind of there's a lot of guys there was guys that got a ton of reps in the last 2 days. So we're going to make sure that like I said, we looked at it as a 3-day sequence here against the same team. So wanted to try to give everybody about the same opportunity depending on how practice went, and then you kind of divvy up the game reps accordingly. So we'll kind of take stock of it here today.
You guys added a running back, Damian Williams. What was kind of the thought process behind that?
Yeah, we had a couple guys that got nicked a little bit, so we're just getting ready to go into a preseason game where there's 4 quarters, regardless of whether you want them or need them or run out of players. And so Damien's a guy we worked out earlier in training camp. He was in shape. He's had a productive career. He's a good football player. He's smart. He's tough. And so we were interested in him, honestly, before that. But, when you start to get a little low in a number here and you got to play a game, and really we're going to play 2 in 6 days, along with another 2 competitive practices. So just trying to make sure that at each spot we can, we're kind of, healthy as we can be going into, I'd say, this stretch of days, which is going to be an important one.
Coach, now that you've had Zamir White for a while, how does he compare to the evaluation you had on him during the NFL draft process?
He's improving. There's no question. But, the things that we saw, he's powerful. He's fast. He's tough. He's a downhill runner that can really, produce yards between the tackles or around the edge. And so he's worked hard at his pass game discipline, and protection and catching the football. And just a good example of a young player doing a lot of the things that you need to do to try to get better and be a good NFL football player. So excited about where he's at and the progress that he's made so far.
What have you seen so far from Trey Tucker? What's the next step for him in his development?
Yeah, Trey's handling a lot of stuff, and he's learning multiple positions on offense, which for a young player is great that he can do that. He has the aptitude to do it. We all knew he was fast when we drafted him, but it's, in the NFL, it's not just good enough to be fast. You got to be able to use your speed the right way and, learn how to run routes against different techniques and those kind of things. I think that's where we're at right now in his development is how do I improve the technique so that I can beat good players in the NFL, when I have to and when I need to. So, made some good plays today, another handful of things that I'm sure we're going to learn from, but he's been out there every day, which is great, for young players to be out there and have those opportunities. That's the best thing we can ask.
What do you think of the last couple of days with Nesta Jade Silvera, how he looked?
Yeah, Nesta's he's a powerful guy in there, and he's done some good things. He's done some good things in training camp, and learning. I think that's a good word right now, learning, because, you need different techniques for different schemes and based on what you see and your tips and those kind of things. But he's learning. He plays hard. He's physical. We saw that in college. We felt like that he would do that in the NFL regardless. And trying to add to some of the things that he already naturally did well in terms of pass rush and, technique and those kind of things. So young player with a long way to go, like everybody is at that stage. But, again, out there, working, getting a lot of repetitions, which is the way you get better.
Do 2 more, Deshaun. Josh, kind of stemming from that question, obviously any pass rush is good, but particularly when it's from the interior, that tends to affect quarterbacks. What's it been like to see that group kind of come to life for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's if the middle doesn't really get any push in there, and the tackles on another team do a good job of trying to protect the inside and force the edges to run around the quarterback, then the quarterback has a chance, obviously, to step forward. So whether it's the ends ripping inside and running games or what have you, or the inside guys creating disruption on their own, it really affects the ability of the quarterback to help the tackles. And so I think both teams probably did, some of that in the last 2 days, and your quarterback feels it the most, because he can't really go forward. So, any type of pressure to the spot, we call it, is good. I didn't really, like I said, we'll see how we did on that today, and the quarterback always has an opportunity to help, avoid some of those things. But if you get inside pressure, it makes it tough.
Just 2 parts. One, it's been a while since we saw Brandon Faison carted off. Did you have an update on him? And then also, what are you looking for guys to kind of make their name on Sunday to kind of stand out for you?
No update on Face. Still working to try to, be back as soon as he can. But the Sunday, it's not really about making a name. It's really about trying to go out there and do your job, and who's disciplined enough to do it as many plays as they're out there. They might be out there for 2 quarters. Some of them might be out there for, 15 plays. Some of them might be out there for the whole game, and so you're trying to see who can be disciplined enough to know what their job is, communicate with their teammates, and then try to use the right technique and, see if they can help their team, their side of the ball, make good plays because they're doing the right thing at their spot. So I don't want 11 guys going out there as independent contractors trying to, light up the scoreboard, and that's not really the way to play football. So you got to trust the other guys around you, and you got to do your part. And so this will be our first opportunity to see that, I'd say, as a whole with all three phases.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.